Hi and welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. Today we're going to look at the Rowan Magazine number 66 for winter 2019-2020. Hi, welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. I'm here with Knitting Natter to help you learn to knit the easy way. Today I'm going to do a review of the Rowan Magazine, as I said, and I'm going to look at both of these pieces. Now, if you only want to look at one piece or the other, or you just want to look at the photographs or the patterns or the articles or something, then take a look in the description. I've put the timestamps in there, so you can just click to where you want to just have a review of one piece of the magazine if that's what you want to do. Maybe you've bought the magazine but you haven't got the second piece, so you want to see whether it's what you need. Now, I've done that because this is a longer video than usual, so you can find what you need more quickly. Now, let's get to it. Let's take a look at this Rowan Magazine number 66 for winter 2019-2020. Let's take a look at Rowan Magazine number 66 then. I think the first thing to note is that this is produced in two pieces now. This is a whole new look for the Rowan Magazine and it's just started this summer. The idea is that you can buy one or both pieces, and I decided to buy them in a pack, and it comes with this lovely binder around it. So let's take a look at the first piece. This is what we would recognise as the magazine. It looks the same as usual, but it's bound into a more sturdy, it feels like a more sturdy book type binding. Now that's the second piece, and we'll look at that in a minute. So what we have here is lots of photographs of knitwear photographed in Cambridge, UK, and 5 different designers with 25 designs. There they go. There's a lot more designers than 5. That's the main ones there. We also have just a brief contents page there. And what it says here is that it is classic yet modern, timeless knitwear. And that's just an overview of the feeling of the whole book. So, of course, we go through all of the pieces now, just as we normally would in this type of book, in this type of magazine. And yeah, they are beautiful. Lots of different items, lots of different styles. That's because obviously they're using different designers throughout the magazine, which is really useful. If you get a book from Rowan, then it's usually just a single designer and you can tell that it's all the same person. But these are all different designers creating all these different pieces. And there is one thing I think we should note is if you do not like knitting with 4mm needles and thinner yarn, then this probably isn't for you. This book is pretty much highlighting felted tweed along with alpaca soft DK, and then occasionally the items mix felted DK and the Kid Silk Haze, which is a very fine mohair yarn. So then you might go up to a 4.5 or 5mm needle, but these are basically, it feels like a felted tweed book, to be honest. There's 14 items in here knitted with felted tweed. Beautiful as they are, there's nothing wrong with just knitting in felted tweed. I really do like that yarn. It's all natural fibres. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I'm just saying that if you want to be aware that you're thinking and you look in here and you'll find some thicker yarns, it's not going to happen. So I absolutely love this. I don't think I'd actually sit down and knit this. I might buy this off the shelf. I have got to a point in my knitting journey where at this time I'm not that interested in sitting there and going through a major ferrule pattern all the way through the whole piece. I would do it if it was just on the collar or something, but not that sure. It's beautiful. Like I said, I would buy it off the shelf. If someone wants to knit it for me and send it to me, that's fine. This is beautiful. I can't imagine, well, if you look, I'll show you the pattern in a bit, but this would be lovely in some different colours as well. This is a neutral. It's a grey, I think, but just imagine this in a bright orange or something. The Alpaca Soft DK does have lots of colour choices, so I really do like this styled with the purple leather jacket. I want that. This book does a great job on showing you how to wear the items that they've knitted. So she's got some skinny jeans on here and a matching shirt, and they're picking out the tones. There's just one part of this that is a chestnut brown, and is picking it out with the other items that she's wearing. So I think that's really clever. I would love this, maybe in a different colour. I'm not sure I'd wear the lime green. I would definitely consider knitting this up in some different colours. This is the beauty of this book, because there are so many different colours of these yarns, then you can just go for it and be really creative yourself. I love this too. And there are fair old patches to it, but just one thing to note, I had a look at the pattern already, and you would be knitting for as long probably as you would if you were knitting a jumper, if you were knitting this scarf. So don't think because you're knitting an accessory it's not going to take you as long to knit it. It will. Yes, you won't have to do the shaping or the seaming or anything, but my goodness me, this is still 10 balls of yarn, I think. So there's no getting out of it. That's a lovely cardigan, isn't it? Here we can see it in more detail here. And that uses the same design as that scarf we just looked at. There, you can see that diamond pattern, the same diamond pattern as they use here. I love this too. I'm a big fan of polo necks, rounded necks for winter jumpers for men. My husband loves them. He wears shawl necks for winter as well. Otherwise he complains he's getting cold. And that's another interesting thought. Nick would probably not wear that in the depths of winter because he'd recognise that the yarn was so thin. Because I'm a knitter, I understand it better, but you can get a really warm, cosy jumper with a really thin yarn, and then it can be really flattering actually. But he'd probably dismiss it and say, oh, I can only wear that when it's okay warm, but it's when it's kind of cold. But he probably wouldn't wear it if it was really, really cold, because it's not a really thick knit. I do love the intricacy of this design. It's beautiful. So then we go on to looking at the new yarns that have come out this season. Rowan has come up with a couple of new yarns. This is the main DK yarn. It's merino baby alpaca silk blend yarn, and it actually does look really lovely. Merino is lovely. It uses merino sheep have got really long strands of wool, so it means that it's a really sustainable yarn. It's not going to fray or pill or have real problems when you knit it up. I do love knitting with merino. To be honest, I probably wouldn't end up using this because it's got silk in it. I'm not that keen on knitting with silk. So it just mentions a couple of things. It's British made in the fact that the merino comes from the Falkland Islands. And there's a whole article telling you about the sheep on Falkland Islands, the history of them being there. And there we go. Lisa has created designs that work as outerwear in spring and autumn, or cosy choices under coats in the deepest winter. And the other part of the magazine, which I'll show you in a minute, does dive into this yarn much more deeply. We don't have any items in this magazine using that yarn. Like I said, all the items in here use Alpaca Soft DK, felted tweed, or a mixture of Kid Silk Haze and felted tweed DK. This book, D. Hardwicke's Seasonal Colour Palette, I actually went and got hold of because I loved it so much. I don't have many books with mainly home items in, so that's why I got this. It's got lots of cushion covers, which I think once I actually get into winter, I might knit up with some yarns that would match my decoration here. So there's a couple of jumpers as well. I really like that. Again, if I choose the colours carefully, I can make them suit me, and that's a gorgeous scarf too. These are all the bright new colours that Hardwicke has designed to go with the seasonal palette. So yeah, that's all the brochures. You can have a real good look at those on the Rowan website. And then we come to mode at Rowan. This feels like a couture selection. It's like a real stamp of design on Rowan, even more so than they usually have. The idea of this feels like it's a capsule wardrobe kind of idea. What does she say here? I've noted a couple of things. Mode at Rowan uses paired back colour palette of mostly neutrals. It gives the knitter a blank canvas in which to perhaps go a bit more daring with the colour. It's often easier to imagine altering a shade if the original is neutral. One other thing to note, all of these books have very much fewer patterns in them than the bigger books. That's what makes it feel more couture and luxury. These have got 4 or 6 items in there, I think. That one has got 18, so that stands out as different. This is 6, 4, 4, and 4. So with the different wools, that's alpaca classic, that's cashmere tweed, brushed fleece, and big wool. So what else does she say? Here we are. Georgina adds, showing how the designs fit and can be worn is key to the Mode at Rowan concept. And they've got videos for everything as well. The video content for each collection will give knitters an all-round look at how the finished piece will look when worn. So yeah, I really do like that. Just showing you, if you knit a plain jumper, I think that's what I love most in my wardrobe. It's a lot more plain pieces than pattern pieces. So when I do wear a pattern piece, it stands out more. And just these colours here, and it's the jewellery that's making the statement rather than the items of clothing. So yeah, some really nice pieces in there if you want to knit those up. Obviously we're looking at getting a Rowan subscription too, and then we move into the patterns. So as usual, these patterns are written out really well. You're going to have a really great time knitting through this. It's very obvious what you're doing, knitting through each piece at a time. And I love the way they use bold print just to say, you're at the next piece, take note. And it obviously refers back to the images if you want to look back. This, I think I would find difficult because it's such a small chart. If I was following that, I'd probably go cross-eyed. I think I'd want to photocopy it and blow it up a bit more, maybe even do it on 2 pieces of paper and stick them together, but that might be difficult. See how you get on with it. This is fun. This is what I looked at earlier. I really love this, and I love that in a colour. But if you want to knit this up, you have to go through all of these different rows. I don't think any of them are actually repeated. Or you can follow this chart, which is great fun, over 2 pages. 720 rows. Isn't that fun? So, I don't know. I might try and find a similar pattern for a throw. And obviously there was that really nice throw in the Hardwicke, the colourful one in that. So, yeah. That is gorgeous. And yeah, if you want that kind of challenge, then go for it. How many balls of yarn? You need 14 balls of alpaca soft DK. So that could be a really nice winter project actually. Do 10 rows at a time, and then you just need 70 sessions. Or, 20 rows at a time when you need 35 sessions. So it's not impossible. It's certainly something that's very much achievable. With this kind of pattern, I say lower your expectations. You're not knitting 700 grams. When you start this, you're knitting 10, and then you're knitting the next 10. and you just take it one step at a time. Ignore the rest of this, try and block it out of your mind. Just recognise that it's growing as you knit, and that you only have to think about the next 10 rows, and then you keep going. So there you go. That is a long pattern, but it's certainly doable. It wouldn't be doable if it wasn't doable, it wouldn't be in this. They'd be selling it in a shop. So yeah, definitely go and knit it if you want to. This is a lovely big scarf as well, and again, this feels it's 13 balls of yarn, so it's no smaller than this one really. This would be probably easier to knit as you'd get used to the pattern as you went. It's a repeating pattern from row 3 to row 24. There you go. So yes, we go through all of these through the pattern, and again there are charts. This one is really nice actually. If I can find the there, you possibly don't realise, you can see that there's a texture on the plain knit which mirrors the colour point on here too. So that is the textured chart and that is the colour chart. And there you go, that's the same pattern that's followed through the scarf and the cardigan. Not sure you'd wear them together, but it's really nice that they kind of, if you get used to the pattern when you're knitting the cardigan, it would be feel a lot easier to knit the scarf up. There you go, that's the scarf pattern there. There's that big cardigan. And then we go through to the sizing guide. They're really careful about this, just making sure that you understand what sizes you're knitting. And obviously, within each pattern as well, there's all of the measurement sizes for the finished pieces as well. There's the information, and then stockists for all around the world for all of the Rowan yarns. So there you go. That is the Rowan magazine. Let's just take a quick glance through the Rowan Focus extra book. I think what stood out to me most about this was that it says very clearly on the front, natural fibres. That's one of the main reasons I choose particular yarns, because they are natural fibres. So that really does appeal to me. Very clever that they've picked that up. So we have 15 designers in this, all by the same designer, Lisa Richardson. I think she's the senior designer now at Rowan. And again, you get this broad idea of them all. And we're looking at the 2 new yarns, which is Cashmere Haze. That's Cashmere Haze as well. This feels really robust. It's Island Blend, and Island Blend is the merino mixed yarn from Falkland Islands, but it's a DK yarn, so even with that it feels like it's a really robust knit. That's Island Blend scarf as well. There we go, we can look at the scarf there. That's a really nice gentle cable pattern to that. And again, we're looking at how you can either wear the items together, or that you can mix them up and wear them with different items in your wardrobe. That's really cool, the bubbles along the side of the sleeve. But that's a cardigan. We have a few cardigans in this. This is a really big wrap one, and this is Cashmere Haze for the scarf, the mittens and the hat. And this is a mixture of Island Blend and Kid Silk Haze. That is probably quite obvious, as we're seeing here, it's really fluffy. So what it's basically doing is adding mohair to the Cashmere Haze. And that's a gorgeous, very, very simple lace design on this. pretty sure that's still knitted. It looks like it even could be crocheted, but we'll have a look later on. Really nice, very simple tank top, what you might call a vest or a waistcoat. And it also, again, it shows you how you can wear these items together. She's got 3 of these things on there, I think. I like the way they're bringing some colour in with this too. And then someone's been doing some photoshopping, having some great fun with this, and they're showing you how you can knit them up. It's obviously the same photograph, and they've taken a photograph of her wearing the neutral colour, but they've just changed the colour out for, that's the moss colour, that's the lemon, that's probably the marine, and that is Empire, the purple. So it just shows you that you can knit these up in different colours if you want to. And then we go through to the patterns. Again, really well laid out, easy to follow. It is crocheted. There you go. Crochet abbreviations, use your crochet hook, and it's just a 3-row pattern. 4mm needles, so you've got to have patience. Again, it's just a case of going through it until you get to 200 centimetres, which is, I'm knitting 10 centimetres at a time. I'm crocheting 10 centimetres at a time, and it just kind of gets split up as the months go by. So that's really nice. Just give yourself that challenge if you want to. There we go, just going through these patterns. And again, we've got the sizing guide and the pattern information at the back, with a few stockists listed, not all of them, like they have in the big magazine. There you go. So that is the Rowan Magazine, which is now split into 2 pieces, so you can get one or both if you want. That's magazine number 66. Do let me know if you've picked it up yourself, and drop in the comments anything that you're knitting already or that you'd like to knit. Great, I hope that was helpful for you. If you liked this and you want me to do more magazine reviews, let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up so it kind of indicates to me whether this was a good idea or not. I'd love to do this kind of thing more often. If it would suit you too, then let's go for it. And of course, if you do want to see more videos of mine, then hit the subscribe button, of course, and click on the little bell, because you'll be notified when these videos appear. I'm here every Tuesday, every week with a new video. I will see you again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now. Happy knitting.